So the Trump military police state has arrived. We've got a lot of stuff to cover today. Three more states are sending their National Guard units to D.C. Of course, three GOP governors have agreed to send their National Guard troops to help with Trump's show of force in Washington, D.C. Despite the fact that, what is it, like a 35% decrease in crime in Washington, D.C. over the past 2 years? But that doesn't fit Trump's narrative, therefore, it no longer applies. Also, Trump said some stupid shit during his speech where he was like, everyone's going out to dinner now. When, like, that is so easily disproven. You could see the online restaurant reservations have plummeted because everyone's afraid to go outside. They're getting fucking stopped at checkpoints by the Trump Gestapo. I'm done calling them ICE agents, by the way. I'm only calling them Trump agents. So if you hear me say Trump agents, we're referring to ICE agents. But so not only that, there's a whole bunch of protesters in D.C., as is our First Amendment right. And Stephen Miller, the Joseph Goebbels of this administration, and J.D. Vance and Pete Hegseth did some fucking question, like they were taking questions. And you can hear the protesters in the back. But Stephen Miller goes on this tirade of the most, there's never been an administration more hateful and venomous and vitriolic about their own American people exercising their First Amendment right, like in history. They are saying it with their full chest that they hate us. They hate us. So that, and then another one is, the last thing we're going to cover is two things. Trump says that the museums, the Smithsonians, are talking about how slavery was bad, and that's just, we shouldn't be talking about how slavery was bad. What? So it's all the people who are like, Chris, just stick to history. They're literally erasing history. And then the last thing, which is probably the most poignant, is that currently, as we are speaking, Nicole Collier, a Democratic representative in Texas, is being held hostage by the Republicans, where they're trying to force her to sign a document that would put her under 24-hour, 7-day-a-week surveillance from law enforcement. And because she refuses to sign the document, they've locked her in a room. And they threatened her with a felony for just doing a call with the media, which is again a violation of the First Amendment. So again, you're up against fascists. The Republican Party is no longer. They are simply the MAGA fascists. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely. And if you do want to support the channel financially, please do. You can become a patron on Patreon. You can become a member here on YouTube. You can click the thanks button down below to donate. You can buy merch down below, like that Democratic Socialist poster. And you can use the 40% off discount code for Ground News located in the description below. And let's just dive in. So we're going to start with this. 3 more GOP governors authorized deployment of National Guard troops as part of Trump's show of force. This is according to the Associated Press. I mean, dude, this is Washington, D.C. right now. This is fucking ridiculous. I don't know if you guys remember during Trump's birthday party, his military parade, I told you, I was like, all this military gear is fucking stank, bro. Like, he's locking himself in the Oval. He's horrified. And that's exactly what he fucking did, bro. 3 more Republican governors authorized the deployment of National Guard troops to Washington on Monday, part of President Donald Trump's escalating show of force that he says is designed to crack down on crime and boost immigration enforcement in the nation's capital. The announcements by Mississippi, Tennessee, and Louisiana brought the number of state troops detailed to the president's effort to more than 1,100 and the number of states to 6. Governors from the states said they were responding to requests from the Trump regime to join the operation. It was not immediately clear why the regime requested additional military support. About 800 troops have already been called up from the Washington, D.C. Guard and have a limited assigned role so far in Trump's 10-day attempted takeover of D.C. law enforcement. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser said the descriptions of the operation needed to be more honest and acknowledged that they weren't just about curtailing crime, but about immigration enforcement, a centerpiece of the second Trump regime that has echoed across the country in recent months. During a news conference, Bowser pushed back on Trump's characterization of the city and voiced skepticism about the administration's intent. And listen, she's right. I don't know how many of you guys have been to D.C. lately. I don't know how many of you live in D.C., but D.C. is not like fucking Tijuana, whatever, fuck you. It's not like Kowloon. It's not a fucking hellhole the way that Trump is trying to get you to say it is. You know what it does have? It has homeless people. And you know what homeless people are? A consequence of hyper-capitalism in this nation. You have more in common with a homeless person than you do a fucking billionaire. You're far more close to being fucking homeless than being a billionaire. Trust me, one medical bill without health insurance and you're fucking cooked, son. But again, let's just finish up here with Bowser's quote. I think it makes the point that this is not about DC crime, Bowser said of the regime and the states deploying National Guard members onto the streets of the Capitol. Quote, the focus should be on violent crime. Nobody is against focusing on driving down any level of violence. And so if this is really about immigration enforcement, the administration should make that plain. And that is true. It's not just about immigration enforcement. It's also about cleansing Washington, D.C. of the homeless and of minorities. We've already heard people like Benny Johnson, a huge arbiter of the right, talking about this shit, how they need to bulldoze entire fucking neighborhoods. You know what neighborhoods they're talking about. You remember Trump had this weird disdain about one homeless person that was spotted near the Capitol. He literally fucking tweaked out. And not only that, Trump just recently put forward an executive order that would make being homeless illegal, you know, and to forcibly throw these people into like centers without their will. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now we're gonna move on to a couple of tweets here posted by Midas Touch. Shout out Midas Touch. Listen to the disdain in Stephen Miller's voice and also the smile on Pete Hegseth's face when they talk about the protesters outside of this meeting.
They have no families they're raising in this city. They have no one that they're sending to school in this city. They have no jobs in this city. They have no connection. They have no families they're raising in this city. They have no one that they're sending to school in this city. They have no jobs in this city. They have no connections to this community at all. But they're the ones who've been advocating for the 1%. The criminals, the killers, the rapists, the drug dealers.
They're starting, so I actually think that this is their play, is to turn the 1%, like we think about the 1%, we're talking about the wealthy, right? The super wealthy. They are the 1%. So they want to rephrase that term into saying the 1% are actually the murderers, criminals, and rapists who are here illegally. Do not let them take the 1% from us. They are the fucking 1%.
And I'm glad they're here today. Because me, Pete, and the Vice President are all going to leave here, and inspired by them, we're going to add thousands more resources to this city to get the criminals and the gang members out of here. We're going to dismantle those networks, and we're going to prove that a city can serve for the law-abiding citizens who live there. We are not going to let the communists just...
The communists, bro. This motherfucker... This is like 1955 Red Scare propaganda. This is the stupidest shit ever. They're claiming that anybody and everybody who is protesting in Washington, D.C. is a communist. Bro, 90% of them are fucking libs.
Destroy a great American city, let alone the nation's capital. And let's just also address another thing. All these demonstrators that you've seen out here in recent days, all of these elderly white hippies, they're not part of the city and never have been. And by the way, most of the citizens who live in Washington, D.C. are black. This is not a city that has had any safety for its black citizens for generations. And
no shot. He's trying to hit us with the Uno reverse. He's trying to say that he cares about the black citizens. Brother, you're trying to get rid of them.
President Trump is the one who is fixing that with the support of the Metropolitan Police Department, the support of the National Guard, and our federal law enforcement officers. So we're going to ignore these stupid white hippies that all need to go home and take a nap because they're all over 90 years old, and we're going to get back to the business of protecting the American people and the citizens.
Bro, this is how an actual representative of the federal government is talking about its own citizens, and you, brother, they think you're the enemy. They think we are the enemy. That's why I tell you, like, you're not up against Republicans, you're up against fascists. They don't view you as my fellow American, they view you as an enemy of the fucking state.
Citizens of Washington, D.C.
It's unbelievable shit. Now I want to start showing you just this tweet from Trump, or not tweet, post on Truth Social. There's also a couple other posts I want to show you, but listen to this. The museums throughout Washington, but all over the country, are essentially the last remaining segment of woke. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. We are not going to allow this to happen, and I have instructed my attorneys to go through the museums and start the exact same process that has been done with the colleges and the universities where tremendous progress has been made. The country cannot be woke because woke is broke. We have the hottest country in the world, and we want people to talk about it, including in our museums. Okay, so let's break this down. I know it was a whole lot of stupid shit. Let's break this down. He says, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Okay, so you're talking about facts? You're talking about how our country was founded upon gun violence and a genocide of the Native Americans. We also were participating in the transatlantic slave trade, and then it took us, what was it, about 100 years to free the fucking slaves? Talking about, and then also the fact that then the 1% and the rich, there was reparations for slave owners. And then we had the Gilded Age where the fucking poor were dying while the 1% were getting richer and richer. Like, you're talking about just concrete evidence, which is that you said the word is, but you meant was. We're talking about museums. How horrible our country was, and it was bad. How bad slavery was, and it was bad. And how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. Because that's what capitalism is. You just don't like facts. Nothing about success, nothing about brightness, nothing about the future. Why the fuck would a museum be focused on the future? Dummy! Fuck, dude. Nothing about success. There's definitely plenty about success in these fucking museums. Talking about, world wars and winning the Civil War and all that. Nothing about brightness. Bullshit. There's definitely stuff about abolishing slavery. There's stuff about all the brave heroes throughout American history. You're lying. And I've instructed my attorneys to go through the museums and start the exact same process that has been done in the colleges and universities. Now, what he means here is MAGA DEI. That's what he means. He means doing a federal audit of colleges and universities and now museums and making sure that it's actually reflecting Trump's image of history. You don't have to take my word for it. He wrote a fucking executive order about this shit. Restoring truth and sanity to American museums. They literally want to cleanse any reference to slavery or shit like the Tuskegee experiments or the Native American genocide or the civil rights movement. Like these people tell me to stick to history. I can't because they're trying to delete it. This country cannot be woke because woke is broke. Now, I also want to point out something. Woke literally just means that you are aware of systemic racism. That's all it means. I know that these stupid fuckers have tried to transform it over the years, but it literally just means that you are aware, you are awake to the systemic racism within the American institution. That's what that fucking means. Oh, God. We have the hottest country in the world. Shut the fuck up. I want people to talk about it, including in our museums. I also want to point out something that nobody's talking about, the fact that he's such a sex pest. He's such a fucking sexual freak that even when he's trying to compliment our nation, like economically, he has to bring it to looks. Our nation's hot. It's got big tits. Oh, look at our nation's big titties. What? And no one talks about the fact that he does this all the time. It's weird. It's creepy. I don't like it. Now, I want to just show you a couple other tweets. We're not going to read through them, but I think that Donald Trump is using ChatGPT. Because look at this. Let's go up. Look, highly respected state representative David Cook, and then a long fucking post. And then look. Labor Boss, an incredible candidate. Pat Harrigan, a tremendous representative. Congresswoman Mary Filler, fantastic representative. Congressman Dave Taylor doing an incredible job. Congresswoman Julie Federchak doing a fantastic job. Congresswoman Sherry Biggs, a terrific representative. Congressman Frank Lucas, an incredible representative. Congressman Jeff Crank doing a truly fantastic job. Congressman Ron Estes is a tremendous champion. Congressman Mark Alford is an America First patriot. Like, what was that? And it was firing him off, bro, like a fucking lever action. What is that? That's a robot. That's not you, Donnie boy. That's not dying. Bro, I swear to God, maybe this is crazy, but if I were ever elected president, I would, part of my campaign would be, hey guys, just so you understand, we're going to be a very transparent administration. However, there will be no Twitter account. Okay? There will be no daily tweets from me. There will be, like, this is ridiculous. Why do I... Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This guy's doing, like, presidential, like royal decrees, and it's not even on Twitter. It's on Truth Social. Yeah. Anyway, sorry I didn't go live today. I'm busy. I'm going out. I'm going to play some laser tag. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. If you do want to support this channel financially, please do. Thank you very much for 85,000 subscribers. We're inching closer and closer to that 100K mark. And do me a favor. Click that video right over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers.